Welcome to part 14 of the Sonic Unleashed Let's Play. So, now that we are done with Shemar Knight, we can now head on to the boss of this continent, the Dark Guardian. And out of all the Werehog bosses, actually, this one is probably my favorite. Yeah, this one's probably my favorite Werehog boss. As I'll say right off the bat, only because, well, for one, the way they actually fight him is pretty unique. Because when you lay the first few punches on him, or something like that, yeah, if you lay the first few hits, he'll be stunned for a little bit. But of course, I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to do now. But yeah, I'm just getting whatever medals I can get. Importance, man, important. They are important after all. Keep mentioning that, but, you know, they are. So anyway, like I said before, you have to, once you lay the first few punches on him, he'll be stunned for a little bit. And you know what? I actually recommend you do that, because the amount of time that he does get stunned for, the amount of times that he, well, hang on. For the time that he does get stunned for, it's actually really long. Like, well, I mean, it's not super long to the point where you can at least, well, push this block into his base. But it's long enough to where you'll actually at least make some progress. And since, speaking of which, the main goal of this boss fight is to push the blocks to his base, yeah, you have to push the blocks into his base, and with each block that you push in, and you destroy, well, one of the orbs that's on the, well, door behind him. However, the Dark Guardian, as well as his, should I put it, as well as his, little helpers, they'll actually help push the blocks for him, and he'll also push the blocks himself. So my best bet is when you do see him do that, when you do see him push the blocks himself, you might want to take him out first so they don't get to your base. Now I'm not actually sure or what exactly would happen if the blocks get pushed to your base. I mean, I know you'll take damage. I definitely know you'll take damage. Then again, I'm not too sure if you'll lose health or if it's an instant kill, but I definitely know you'll take damage. But the one downside with this boss fight is that when you're pushing the blocks in this area, the gates are gonna be, there's gonna be gates that are constantly going up and down, and when the gates are going up, or if you so much touch the point of the gate will actually hurt you. Especially if you're going up, especially if they're going up, and which definitely makes sense. I mean, you are getting impaled after all. Like that. And here I am, just looking for... There we go. Just the last sun medal. And thankfully, again, I don't have to worry about any more moon medals. Since this is it for the Werehog, you know, well, for the sake of unlocking extra levels, and the fact that you do get an achievement for collecting the sun and moon medals, that's something. And that's pretty much it with this boss so far. In the Wii, here's something about the Wii version. The way on how this boss works in the Wii version is that you don't push these blocks around, but instead you just beat the crap out of them. It's pretty much the old fisticuffs, per se. And I'm gonna be honest, I like this iteration better, just because it gives it a more unique feel to it. That's how I look at it. Oh, speaking of achievements, actually, I'm sorry for jumping around like this, but like, we all know that in addition to the Gaia Gate stages, which lead us to the main stages, there are also, as well as extra side missions, there's also an extra little thing you can do, and they are called the Hot Dog Challenges. That exist for both Daytime Sonic and the Werehog. And they basically offer three different types of challenges in 3 different levels. So you have a speed run, you have a, I think, enemy challenge, and I think you have a ring run. And they have like, and they do have 3 iterations. When you beat a hot dog, when you beat the continent's hot dog challenges, you do get a hot dog, which counts as a food, which is pretty much a food you can get. And going into the food itself, when you do get a food, and then you can actually have Sonic eat it, and well, Sonic can gain XP. Yeah, I'm serious.
I know little girls who are better with a hammer than you! Well, one anyway!
Oh! 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 Oh, snap! It's Sonic MLG. That is Sonic MLG, bro. Oh, MLG Sonic is here. I love that. I love that line. I really, really do. And that is it. And that is it for Shamar. And now, of course, this part is actually really. Now, of course, if I were to end it at the Shamar boss and after the restoration of the temple, this part would be short, and it would be really inexcusable for me. So instead, let's head back to Professor Pickle real quick before we head to Adabat, since that's our only stage left before the... Actually... Oh god, I think I missed that line of dialogue, didn't I? Alright. So, of course, now we have to talk to Professor Pickle just for the sake of learning where to go next and whatnot. Let's see. We have to do the Metal Hunt. But, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Metal Hunting isn't really all that great because I didn't really make the amount of medals that I didn't really make it in terms of, well, I think I was 10 short, so I had to go back to previous stages, so cut. And we're back. Yeah, to be honest, despite, I may just sit through like 10 whole playthroughs of Shadow the Hedgehog, but I wouldn't do the same to you guys here. I think you have suffered enough. I did go through some extra stages in Adipose, and I think it's called Adipose, and Sonic's just floating on the ground there. Anyway, yeah, I went through extra stages in Adipose, and Adipose and Chenan, but I'm gonna be honest, though, I showed off extra Werehog and I didn't want to drag it out any longer, so I'm sorry guys, maybe in an extra video I might. So, since I cut it to 120 medals, sun medals, we are now heading into our last day stage of the game. Well, last complete day stage in the game. Because you know how the final level works. We are now heading into Atabat Day. And Atabat Day... Now, Atabat Day, since I'm gonna say this right off the bat once again, out of all the daytime levels, Atabat Jungle Joyride Day is actually my favorite day level in the whole game. Yeah, I'm serious. Again, yeah, I know some of you may not like the fact that Spagonia isn't my favorite daytime level in the game, and plus I think Spagonia is a little overrated. I'm not saying Spagonia is bad at all. Oh, it's still a really fun stage to play. But in terms of, I just happen to like Atabat a lot more. For one, the stage is actually really well designed. Like, it's well designed to the point where it's hard, since this is the last daytime level. But yeah, it's hard, but it's also fair at the same time. And I also like how, plus I also love how the level looks, and this is where the lighting really shows. Like, this is a gorgeous looking level. What's so, like, the lighting, the textures, the way how everything's designed, the plant life. Oh god, this looks great. However, just like anything that's good, there's always a downside. Because there's actually one thing about Sonic Unleashed that kind of fails at in terms of the graphics department. Because while this game does look great with the lighting and all, it also has a really shitty frame rate. I think I covered this in Empire City, but behold as the frame rate shits the bed. I'm not even kidding, man. And when you get to this part of the stage where the towers start collapsing, the frame rate drops from 30 to like 12. Oh, and it gets really bad. Like the frame, like, look, this is my favorite level in the game. I think this is probably the most well designed out of all the daytime levels in the game. But Jesus, the frame rate's horrible. Well, since you're on the water, yeah, it could be frustrating. I'll admit, I got frustrated with the stage the first time, but since I played this a lot more afterwards, Atabat's actually a really fun stage to just plow through, no problem. Let me think. And the Wii version of this stage, you think this is good, right? Well, unfortunately, no. In fact, Atabat in the Wii version is actually one of the shorter levels in the game. In the Wii version. Yeah, I'm not joking. I might show off all the daytime levels in the Wii version, but you think I should? Well, fun. Do you guys think I should show off the daytime levels in the Wii version? Because I sure as hell won't show off the nighttime levels in the Wii version, but I at least want to show off the daytime levels. At least. See what's different. Okay. Now, actually, I have a confession here, since a lot of you like my... if any of you watched my Sonic 06 Let's Play, the one, you know, the Let's Play that I did before this, God, I've done too much Sonic the Hedgehog recently, but, let me think. I mentioned before that Tropical Jungle is actually my favorite stage in Sonic 06, and since this is my favorite level in Sonic Unleashed, I'm not sure which one I like better. I mean, yes, in Sonic 06, you had to carry Princess Elise around, but she didn't bother me too much in terms of the gameplay. And I think Tropical Jungle is a well-designed stage on its own, too, for what it was. Not only that, but this, along with Atabat, have great-looking visuals, along with a terrible frame rate. I'm not sure. I guess I would like this one a bit more. That's only because of the fact that Sonic Unleashed is a much better game than Sonic 06. For obvious reasons. And, but other than that, I think Jungle Joyride and Tropical Jungle, I think they're both tied actually. I can't say they're my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog levels, like my all-time favorite. But those two, but those two stages are right up there, just tied in the same spot. I'm not sure where would I put it. So, I'm not sure where would I put. I'm just not sure what number. At least what position I would put it in. And that is, unfortunately though, that is pretty much it with Jungle Joyride Day. Again, overall, Jungle Joyride is despite the shitty frame rate in the water running segments, as well as some of the jungle segment areas, it's still a well-designed stage, and I think it's probably my favorite stage in the whole game. And to be honest, I think the stage of Adabat Jungle Joyride Day is also pretty underrated. If you like Spagonia Rooftop Run, that's fine. But again, I like the stage. I like Adabat more as a day stage. It's a lot more fun. And oh look, 2 more daytime stages that I've unlocked that I will never go to. I'm gonna be honest, even some of the extra daytime levels aren't really that fun though. Like the main daytime stages, and maybe some of the DLC can be fun, but a lot of the extra acts that you go through, I'm gonna be honest, not a lot of it's just I don't think any of it's just as fun as the main act. But anyway, we now have a boss fight. A daytime boss fight. I know, right? Finally! It's been so long. And what's this boss? Well, we are now facing off against the Egg Lancer. Now, the Egg Lancer is actually a hodgepodge between the Egg Beetle and the Egg Devil Ray. Like, it has the design of the Egg Beetle, and it will use its claws and other attacks that the Egg Beetle had. But since it's also a hodgepodge of the Egg Devil Ray, it also shoots lasers. Laser! I can't do a Roger Craig Smith voice, I'm sorry. But the idea of defeating the Egg Lancer is pretty much the same way as defeating the Egg Beetle. Well, when its claws open up, that's when you strike. You either homing attack or boost into him. Except here we have this quick time event, and like that. I'm not sure what those springs are for. Right here, and booyah. And when you do that, I wasn't sure, but if you do that, it does shave off a good chunk of his health, of the Egg Lancer's health. I remember playing the Wii version. I remember when I played this game for the first time on the Wii version. I remember having a lot of trouble with this boss. And right here, like, remember how I mentioned before in the Egg Beetle fight, where despite the stage and how it looks so good, or the fact that the stage can look so good, but at the same time it's so easy to lose Sonic. That's another case. In the Wii version, and not only does it lack the graphical fidelity, but there's also a dust cloud, or these clouds of dust that Sonic makes, which makes it very easy to see him. So again, because of how good these stages look, it's actually, at the same time, it can be very hard to see Sonic. Not very hard, but at least a little hard. It can be a little hard to see him. And yeah, this is pretty much the Egg Devil Ray. Fun fact, and another fun fact about the Wii version is that in all these daytime boss fights, in the Egg Beetle boss fight, Eggman is piloting it, but in terms of the Egg Devil Ray and Egg Lancer, it's these little robot things that are piloting it. But in the Wii version, no, Eggman is actually piloting all of these, making it more akin to how the classic boss fights in the classic games work, seeing how you're fighting Eggman at the end of the stage. And that is it for the Egg Devil Ray. To me, clearly it's the hardest daytime boss, but it's also the last one, so it does make sense at least. But anyway, we now have another cutscene to go through. And since I lied in the last part, we are actually restoring 2 temples this part. It's kind of late for me to say that, but I'm sorry. Anyhow, enjoy.
What's wrong, buddy?
Huh? Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean. That's not... Never mind. I'm fine. Let's go. I welcome your return. Messenger of day, of light, of rebirth. Sonic, I remember now. All of it.
Anyhow, that is it for this part. Enjoy the well done cutscene coming up, and I'll see you all for part 15.
My real name is Light Gaia. I draw power from the day and light and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was to protect the planet from Dark Gaia. But Eggman broke the world apart himself, and Dark Gaia and I were awakened before we should have been. That's why Dark Gaia broke apart, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. All because this isn't the proper time of awakening.
Time of awakening?
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises to destroy the world. And I put it all back together. We've been doing this over and over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep all this time? For millions of years?
Yes, for ages and ages.
I bet it's thanks to you. Even at night when I'm like this, I'm still myself, not like all the other people we've seen. You must have been protecting me this whole time.
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart. I think it's because I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been so fun, getting to see the world. I've lived here since the planet began, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it's so pretty, or that food tastes so good, or that people are so nice. I'm so glad I got the chance to discover all that with you, and I'm so glad that you helped me find my memory. Sonic, I will never, ever forget you. Thank you, Sonic. Goodbye, friend.
Hey!
Whoa, what?
Where do you think you're off to all by yourself?
What? But my memory is back now, and, well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, I mean, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just...
Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend?
Thanks, Sonic. Yeah!